Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Wednesday, May 13th, 2020. We again find ourselves in the final hour of the trading day. I prefer to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day, and that is because during the daytime you have the algorithms, you have the day traders. They're the ones that are controlling the price during the day. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions come in. They're dealing with the most money, very, very smart people, the best technology, best information. At the end of the day, they take control of the price away from the day traders and algorithms. And I like to piggyback my decisions based upon what they're doing for the reasons that I just mentioned. Dealing with the most money, best information, very smart people, technology, all that kind of stuff. So I do make the majority of my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day. I did make a couple day trades today. I will show you. But thank you all for coming. It's always nice to see everybody. I always really look forward to it. We have a great group. We really do. And great comments and great questions. And it's fun to watch everyone's trades. And sometimes you give some really good possible trade setups like we had today on Chewy, thanks to Miko25. So, all right, let's take a look. Dan is here. Hey, Dan, good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Scatty13 is here. Hey, Scatty, good to see you. Kamal, good chatting with you earlier. Kamal and I sometimes chat during the day on Skype and look for trades and so forth. And Miko25, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good day there. So, all right, well, interesting day for sure. Interesting day. Let me take a look over here. Dow is down 500 points today. That's on top of yesterday's 440 or whatever it was. So down 2.2%. NASDAQ down 172.58, down 1.92%. And the S&P is down 55.74, down 1.95%. So pretty big down 2 days in a row. You know, we were kind of extended, in my opinion. Just kind of goes to show you, it's, in my opinion at least, it's good to wait for a pullback than just start chasing stuff to the upside. So, all right, let me take a look here. Hey, Frank is here. Good to see you. Marcella is also here. Nice to see you, Marcella. Andrea, hello, Andrea. Good to see you. Hope your boy's doing well today. All right, so here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run that U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. After that, some of you have been kind enough to share your trades with me and the group. We're going to go over those, take a look, see how those are doing. After that, we're going to spend a few minutes talking about either trader psychology or just good trading words of wisdom, trading philosophy. I think it's a good part of the live stream other than just looking at charts because, it is important to learn how to trade. It is important to learn your signals and support, resistance, entries, exit, indicators, all that kind of stuff. But, there are a lot of people out there, and I'm not saying everyone is, but there's a lot of people out there that have a hard time following their plan. They really, really do. And if you are one of those people, if you find yourself not following that plan, you have to work on that. That is a skill that you have to have in order for you to even have a chance to make money trading. Some people might think, what is Greg always talking about here? You may have no desire or you don't have any, what's the word? I'm looking for the word, predisposition to do that, but there are a lot of people that have predispositions to not follow their plan. And those are the ones that I'm hoping that, when I talk about trading psychology or trading words of wisdom, trading philosophy, that this will help. So we'll go over that. After that, we're going to take a look down through my watch list. I have 3 requirements whenever I want to look to enter a trade at the end of the day. First, look for a confluence or a combination of indicators. I look at each indicator as a potential group of buyers. I look at each signal as a potential group of buyers. So you're going to put yourself in the best position to have a profitable trade if you are in the company with as many other buyers as possible. So that's why I look for a confluence of indicators, a confluence of signals lining up. That's step 1. Step 2, make sure I have a good risk to reward ratio, at least 2 to 1 based upon valid and likely resistance above me and valid support below. And then number 3, want to make sure that I'm diversified. I don't want to have too many technology stocks. I don't want to have too many healthcare stocks. I want to diversify over different industries in the market. And then lastly, account heat is important. I do not want to put too much of my capital at risk, even if I have completely uncorrelated positions. So those are my 3 requirements. I'm going to go down through the list. If anybody, if I see anything that looks good at the end of the day, I'll go ahead and place a trade at the end of the day. Then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. Happy to clarify, happy to look at any stocks. If there's a stock you'd like me to look at before the close of the market, just let me know. Happy to look at it, put a star by it so that I know it's time sensitive. All right. And that's the plan for today. By the way, Andrea, we were talking about Fibonacci. Before I go to the legal disclaimer, see the big 5-minute bar we had up on Apple? Right here is about where I think it should probably hold support. It had a big day up, and now it's coming back and holding right about that 50% fib number. Interesting, right? So, okay, I'm going to run that US legal disclaimer, and I will be back in 40 seconds. Thanks. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okie dokie. Miko, Greg, looks like Chewy rejected the 50 fib on the 4.6 high to 12 low. Would you change your outlook from yesterday? I'll go through that in a minute. I will definitely, that's the first one on deck. Steve Burns is here. The market has gone full risk off with financials leading the way down. Hey, Steve, good to see you, my friend. Always nice to have you here. Always appreciate you spending time with us and being able to ask you questions, hang out with you. It's a real honor. It really is for me and for everyone else. Gert is here. Good to, and yes, Steve, by the way, financials are leading everything to the downside there. That is for sure. Gert says, hi, Greg. Hi, all. Hi, Gert. Nice to see you. Andrew says, Steve, are you holding SSO? No, he is not. It untriggered at the end of the day. Dan, Andrea, I want to thank you for mentioning the Bidget some time ago. I went on Amazon and bought a bidet hose kit for about 27 bucks. No tools needed, just screw on. Oh, perfect. Frank has a poem for us. Why is trading your groove? Is it just to make money, or you have something to prove? The market has humbled the smartest of folks. It did then and will do again. See next block. Okay, I'm waiting for that next block. Andrew says, hey, Dan, that's cool. Glad to be of help. Hey, Bob, good to see you. Nice to see you too. Kurt says, no, SSO crossover did not trigger my long, thankfully. Yeah, no doubt. Zach, hey, everybody. Work has me slammed, so I won't be around today. I'm out of GME. Hope is all is well. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Frank, okay. Why is trading your groove? Is it just to make money, or you have something to prove? The market has humbled the smartest of folks. It did then and will again. So check your ego at the door, or you may end up on the floor. So good. So good. Thank you, Frank. As always, I really appreciate you putting the time in on this. Oops. Now I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. All right. And over here like so. Okay, got it. Frank, Hey, Dave, good to see you. Hey, so Andrea, just while I have you here, this is the 5 minute chart, right? We had this big bar up, then we came down to around halfway, held around halfway. That's when I would go from the 5 minute to the 1 minute, being that it's halfway of the 5 minute bar. Then I would go to the 1 minute and look for the actual trade to enter. I don't really see one around here, but we were talking about that the other night. And I just wanted to make sure you kind of understood. So just real quick again, 5 minute have a big bar up. Once the 5 minute got back to halfway, the washout bar, I would go down to a smaller time frame and look for an entry. I don't really see one here, but that's how I would approach it. Okay, let's go. Here we go. Chewy. All right. Yeah, Miko, you're right. We had the down move. It did get up to about halfway. I think I'm going to keep this though. I mean, we entered yesterday here, and thanks to Miko, by the way, for pointing this out. This was a really nice, really good trade setup, and I don't follow this, so I wouldn't have it. So thank you. But I did buy it yesterday here at 40.55. We had a nice return to value. We had a V2. Here's day one, day two. Washed out day one, day three, closed above day one, bought it here. Did hit one profit target here up at 41.67. So took some profit up there. It's up 2.25% today, which is nice. It was up over, I think, close to 4% at its high, but I did take off a partial position here at 41.67. That's why I like to phase out. If it goes crashing back down, the market can't take away that profit that I took there, and if it does go down, it mitigates it. To me, this looks fine. I mean, it looks better than yesterday. We're above the moving averages here. Did make a higher high, didn't make a higher low. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with this, and I have to point out the relative strength of today is extremely high. I mean, with the market being down 579 points and this is up, that is what I take into consideration too, is the relative strength. So thank you again, Miko, for pointing that out. Looks like Bing He had it, Miko has it, Kamal had it by selling some puts, and I had it. So yeah, good example. Downward move, sideways motion, spike to the stab to the downside, reversal, and so far it's worked out. So far it's worked out well. So we'll see how it goes. All right, silver. I did buy silver back here on the 7th of May. I bought it at 14.25 when we had the 520 EMA crossover. Crossovers are a good entry signal to take, and the structure of crossovers is that if it goes against you, you'll get out pretty quick for a small loss. But it offers you the possibility of a really big uptrend. Doesn't always happen, right? But it gives you that opportunity. I mean, if it does trend and you're in the crossover, if it really does trend, you'll be in it, right? That's for sure. I can say that, right? So, so far so good. I did hit one profit target right at the top. You can see I put my profit target in at 14.56 and the high was 14.56. And that's always kind of a gut-wrenching moment where you're like, oh, I know it got there, but did it fill my actual order? And it did. So I was happy. So I did take some profits off up there. It's down below, but so far so good. 5 still over the 20. If the price closed below both the 5 and the 20, I would get out of half. I'd get out of the rest if the 5 crossed under the 20. Unless we had a big, huge volatile bar that I didn't like, I could also get out with that. So anyway, very happy that this is up today. SPY. All right, world famous SPY trade. Real quick, in case we have some new viewers today, I want them to understand why I do this, but I do buy the SPY every day. At the close, I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it first thing the next morning. I do this because there's some really good data on this approach, and this is from Lizanne Saunders at Bespoke Invest. They tested 2 approaches since 1993. First approach, buy the SPY at the open, hold during the day, sell at the close. If you use this approach, you would have actually returned a negative 13.9% return for all your trouble, all your work. If you did the opposite, which is what I do every day, buy the SPY at the close, hold overnight, take the overnight risk, sell the first thing the next morning, positive 634.2% return. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. That goes for any trading approach. We don't know the future. We don't know what's going to happen. Any trading approach that's worked in the past it does not mean it's going to work in the future. You always have to know that. But if you're going to be a trader like me, I am going to approach the market and allocate money towards something that has had good results in the past. It's not indicative of the future, but it's better than nothing, right? Blue line is buy in the afternoon, sell in the morning. Orange line's buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. You can see the blue line clearly has done better than the orange line, but there are ups and downs associated with this approach. No doubt about it. 2019, I had a fantastic year. 2020 started off horribly, although it's coming back pretty strong here in the last month and a half. So with that being said, I did buy here yesterday at 286.10. No, sorry, 286.67. That's where I bought at the close of the market. Got out today at 286.10. So lost about 57 cents on the trade. Not a big deal. But boy, I'll tell you what, you can see from the last couple days, 3 days ago, I bought at the open, bought at the close, sold the next open for a profit, went screaming down yesterday. Today had a little bit of a loss, but at least stayed out of this and this by selling at the open. But it works the other way too. Sometimes you get out for a loss and it goes zooming up. But anyway, small loss on that. I was a little concerned about that. I know Frank asked me whether I was going to take this trade or felt good about it. No, I didn't feel good about it after yesterday's big down bar day, but I don't want to get into the position where I'm picking and choosing which day I do it. It's too much angst, too much decision making. I'm just going to trade this mechanically and let the chips fall where they may. Twitter. All right. Well, Twitter is a stinker. I did buy Twitter back here on the 7th of May. I bought it when we had a return to value, sideways motion, V2. Did go up nicely the next day. And this is another example of why I like to take profits when I have them, partial profits, because I think I took 2 profit targets on this particular day, locked in some profits at higher levels, higher than I bought them. But then we moved sideways, yesterday down, today down big. Like not happy about this, but I'm just trying to point out that taking the profits up here, at least I locked some profits in and mitigated the loss to the downside had I just bought one entry and one exit. And sometimes it works for you. Sometimes things go up, 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 and you wish you wouldn't have scaled out, but it all comes out in the wash. It really does. I'm going to be getting out of this. I'm going to take the loss. The price closed under both the 5 and the 20, and we had this huge bar down, lost the 50 RSI. So I'm going to go ahead and just lock in this loss. But again, it's a smaller loss because I phased out in this particular situation. All right, Apple. I did have a day trade on, I had 2 day trades on Apple actually. My first one was a loser, which was kind of a bummer. I think I had 10 or 11 profitable day trades in a row. I didn't want to mention it. I didn't want to jinx it. But today I broke my streak. I did buy this on the 5-minute bar here when we went under 30, over 30. We had a V2. Here's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 2 washed out. Day 1 closed above, day 1's closed. I bought it here at 306.07. My stop was a close below halfway the washout bar, and it moved down. It tested my stop 1, 2, 3 bars in a row, and I was like, oh great, it's holding that stop exactly, which is the 50% mark. And I thought that's good. If maybe we're going to move up from here. Looked a little promising. And then here on this bar, it closed below halfway this washout bar. So I had to get out. So I got in 306.07, got out at 304.61. So lost about $1.70 or something like that on the trade. I did come back here, making another entry when we had the V2. Here's day bar 1, bar 2 thoroughly washed out bar 1, day bar 3 closed above day 1, bar 1's close. And in addition, you see the low of the range. Here's the low of the range. So not only did we have a V2, but we also had a breakout to the downside, just 1 bar, and then quickly back up into the range. I bought this one here at 305.12. Moved up nicely immediately. I thought I had a tiger by the tail, but then it closed under the 50 RSI. It was above it for a moment and then closed under. So I went ahead and locked in the gain here. Bought this at 305.12, sold it at 306.22. So not quite as much as I lost on the first one, but made back a really nice chunk of that. All right, so that's it. And you can see right here, this big bar did hold that 50% right around and then rallied and then right back down. So it's a crazy day. So anyway, all in all, not too bad of a day today. Thanks to Chewy and a little bit thanks to Silver. SPY was a very small loss, and then Twitter was the big loss today. But not too bad of a day considering this is a horrible, horrible day. All right, let's go on, take a look here. Gert with almost the 100% move here. She bought this. See the sideways motion? Sideways, 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 right? 40 bought here at 44 cents. Gambled through earnings, but it worked out, and boom, 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 boom. I like that it's still holding above the 200-day moving average. So congratulations on that, Gert. Okay, Zach told me he got out of GameStop. Glad to hear that. So Zach and Dirk and Kamal bought GameStop here when it had a V2, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 2, or day 2 washed out, day 1, day 3 closed above day 1's close, 496 approximately. Next day it went down. Kamal did get out here because it rejected the 200-day, and then it's just moved down ever since. So I don't know if Dirk's with us. Oh yeah, he is. Dirk, are you still in GME? Okay, Gert did buy OMAB at 30.65 back here on the 5th. Moved up nicely 3 days in a row here, it looks like, but now it's come back down a little underwater. So Gert, if there's any changes to that, please let me know. Bing He did buy Abbott Labs back here at 93.80. Moved up nicely, and it's just come down with the rest of the market. So Bing He, if there's any changes there, let me know. Kamal did buy AGQ, which is double leveraged silver. He bought it back on the 7th, 21.39. He used the 520 cross on the SLV to take the trade. Moved up nicely, and it's profitable so far. So good job on that, Kamal. Glenn, ooh, man. So Glenn had a great trade on CME, bought it at 166.75, had 2 huge monster days, but then got caught up in the last couple down days of the market. He's still positive on the trade here. I'm not sure if it hit his trailing stop, Glenn, so if you're there, let me know. Glenn also had a nice trade, 28.25 back on the 7th, moved up nicely. He bought it earlier in the day, moved up, moved sideways, down today. So if there's any change there, let me know. Who is this? Nathan. Okay, so Nathan did buy Tilray. He bought it before earnings, and unfortunately, this is one of the ones that did not go up on earnings, down to 703. So Nathan, if you're out there, any changes, let me know. And then it looks like the big winner of the day is GM today. She bought puts on Amazon expiring June 19th, so a little over a month away. She bought them at 2,200, which means at expiration they have to be below 2,200 in order for her to have intrinsic value, but she's probably up on the trade because of the time value, I would imagine. Okay. Happy to be in. Steve says, I'm happy to be in all cash today. Absolutely. That was a fantastic move on Steve's part. That was kind of a big down day for a lot of people yesterday, but Steve seemed to sniff that out and went all to cash. So congratulations, Steve. It's never fun to take a loss, but you feel a lot better about it if you get out and the next day it goes down, right? Wiener Dog, Trading. Good afternoon, Greg and everyone. Hello. Good to see you, Karen. Appreciate you being here. Kevin is here. Hi, Kevin. Good to see you. Frank says, I've never seen a stock yet or gold that said no to cash. Okay, Dirk says, hello. Steve Burns says, VIX is back alive again today. Yes, it is. You know, I've been noticing VIX, Steve. Earlier in the day, it rejected the 50 RSI, which could have possibly been a good sign for the market. But now we are strongly above it, which is not a good sign. Bacon Bandit. Hey, Bacon Bandit. Hi, Greg. New to your channel. Was given your name from a friend of ours, Duncan. Yes, Duncan out of Houston. Duncan is a good friend of mine. Great content you have here. I've been watching for about a week now. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, he told me about you on the phone. Yeah, if I can help you with anything, Bacon Bandit, please let me know and please give my best to Duncan. Duncan's the best. Dirk says, what is your view on Neo? Are we talking Matrix here? What are we talking? Okay. It's possibly trying to work on a V1 today. This bar is, I guess it's okay. It's maybe just a touch over 1 ATR. But if I were to take this trade, I like that it bounced off the 200-day, and I like the possible higher low V1. See how this is higher than here? Not too bad. If I did buy this, I would use a stop of either halfway the washout bar or just the 200. That 200 acts like it's acting as support. So it's not bad. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly's in the value zone moving sideways. You know, whenever we have sideways motion, we don't know when it's going to happen, but this thing will break. It will break either to the upside or to the downside. We don't know what direction and we don't know when it's going to happen, but I can tell you that it will happen. It will happen, but that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Gert says, have stop a lot higher now in SDPI. Just to make sure I keep the profits. Have also taken twice partial profits. I'm so glad to hear that, Gert. I'm a huge fan of taking profits when you have something, right? It's never fun to have a big trade and then give it all back, right? And it's just my personality, works for me, helps me stay in trades longer to the upside. Dirk says, I was at a GME yesterday. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Let's get rid of this trade and just get it off the board. That was, we can do better than that, right? Gert said, I took a small loss in OMAB. I don't trust the head and shoulders on the Dow Jones and expect much more downwards movement. Okay, well, let's get out of that then. Good to see that. Glad to see you getting out quickly when you're wrong. So closed OMB. Okay, Bacon Bandit said will do. Okay, so listen, before we go down through the watch list, before I look for my 3 requirements of my end of day trade, which are combination, confluence of indicators, good risk to reward ratio, at least 2 to 1, 3. Make sure my positions are diversified. Make sure I do not have too much account heat. Before I do that, like I said at the beginning of the show, I do like to talk about trading psychology or trading philosophy or good trading words of wisdom. There's some really great Twitter channels, Facebook channels out there that I follow, and I read their posts every day. And when I find something that looks good, it's helpful for me, I think it'd be helpful for the group, I like to just do a few minutes on it. And this is from Julian Komar on Twitter. Great channel, really good trader. I believe he's from Germany. So if you haven't subscribed to Julian, I would suggest it at blog Julian Komar. Just good stuff to read, good stuff to internalize. But he has 10 things to give up if you want to trade successfully. I'm going to go through here. I'm sure nobody is going to ever have had any issues with any of these 10, but just in case, right? Of course, we've all had problems with this. FOMO. Number 1, fear of missing out. Man, this is like the killer. The problem with FOMO is a market moves up, it goes up, it goes up. You keep seeing it go up and you feel like, I don't want to miss out on this deal. I don't want to miss out. You know how this ends, right? I mean, we're going to go through the charts here in a minute and I can show you how it ends. Every once in a while, something goes up for a long time, but fear of missing out is just the worst thing. Wait, have your trade plan, wait for the price to come to your trade plan, be patient. I mean, what's the opposite of FOMO? I guess it would be patience, right? Patience is the number one asset, number one edge we as small traders have in this market. Large financial institutions, they have to buy and sell all the time. We can sit with our sitting on our hands, waiting for the perfect pitch to come in before we strike, right? No three strikes rule in the stock market like there is in baseball. That's what Warren Buffett says. So FOMO, don't get caught up in it. You'll get that spidey sense when you know you're getting caught up. You're like, man, this thing's running away from me. I got to get in. Be patient. Wait for it to come back. No stop loss. Well, if you don't have stop loss, it's like driving a car without brakes. You have to have a stop loss. End of discussion. Waiting for tips. I just laugh, just makes me laugh. Tips from whom? How do they know what's going on? I used to be the officer of a public stock company. I knew what was going on. I couldn't give anybody a tip. One, it would be illegal. And two, I never knew what was going to happen. And I was part of I was an officer in the company. So create your own plan. Don't rely on people for tips. Really don't. Perfection, yeah, we're never going to have it in trading. It's just like golf. There's no perfection. I guess you can strive for it, but no trading plan. Well, of course you need a plan. Of course you need a plan. You need to know where you're getting in, where you're getting out to the downside if you're wrong, where you're getting out to the upside if you're right. And by the way, waiting for tips, people say, oh yeah, you got to buy this company. Unless somebody tells you what to buy, where to get out if you're wrong, where to get out to your right, it's not a good tip, and it's certainly not a plan. Get rich quickly. Yeah, it doesn't happen. If you want to try to get rich quick trading, just be prepared to lose all your money. Trading, the market gives you money when it wants to give you money at its own time. I think Steve always says the quickest way to go broke is to try to get rich quickly in trading. Over trading. Well, this is for obsessive compulsive people. I have to deal with this myself. This is the one that I really have to sit back and work on myself. But over trading is not good. You have to just wait until you get a decent signal. Take the trade, let the trade play out, and that's it. Action every day. You don't need action every day. Some of the best days for me in trading, where I feel most proud of myself or feel like I'm a mature trader, is when I don't take a trade, right? I mean, I look for a trade every day, but truth be told, on days that I don't take a trade, I'm like, great, I feel good. There was no trade to take. You don't need trade every day. Trade every market. So I'm a little torn on this one. I mean, yes, you don't want to trade every market, but again, I do like having diversification in my portfolio. So I look at lots of markets. Doesn't mean I trade every market. I'm only going to take a trade when there is an actual trade set up, and ignore psychology. Well, you know how I feel about that. Psychology is the most important part of trading. There is, that goes without question. It goes without question. You don't have to have the most advanced trading plan. It can be super simple, but it's the psychology that will come and tempt you. It's like an angel and a devil. Just make a plan, stick with the plan, and that's it. So thank you, Julian. Appreciate that. Like I said, I'm sure no one has ever dealt with any of these 10 issues, but in case there's someone out there, I'm sure nobody right now in the group has ever dealt with this, but maybe somebody later will be watching this. Right? All right. I'm joking. We all deal with these things. So thank you, Julian, at blog Julian Komar. Hey, Bing He. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're in Chewy. With us. Nice trade. All right, what's this lovely market doing? Oh, okay, down almost 600 points. NASDAQ's down 186. S&P's down 61. It's funny. I have a friend who owns a lot of Apple. I mean, a lot of Apple. Lots of Apple. Did I mention it was lots of Apple? And he's been selling calls. He's been selling covered calls. And it's funny when you're selling covered calls because you're never quite sure if you want the stock to go up. Like you want the stock to go up, just not too far, right? And with Apple just going up, he called me. He's like, "Man, I'm scared. Apple keeps going up." I said, "Yeah, you have the stock. That's good." He goes like, "Yeah, I know, but I sold so many calls." I'm like, So it puts you in that weird frame of mind where you want it to go up, but just not too much. But anyway, in a strange way, he is very happy today because of the two down days we've had. All right, so what do you think? Should we go through, take a look, see what's happening? Apple. Well, Apple's been on quite a tear, no doubt about it, right? But right in here, FOMO area, right? And then the FOMOs just got clobbered. I want to buy Apple. I really want to buy Apple, but I want to see it pull back into the value zone. We're at 305.10. Maybe, a good round number, 300, would probably be a good psychological number, which would put us right down in here. But ideally, I want to see it come back into the value zone. This one above the value zone. I don't want to buy it above the value zone. I want to buy at value or under value. I don't want to buy above value. This is what I was taught by Dr. Alexander Elder. So I'm just being patient, just waiting for it to come back into the value zone. Look, see if I can get us set up. Adobe, same thing. Look, I mean, a lot of FOMO up in this area above the 1 ATR channel. In my opinion, extended, overvalued. Well, now we're back in the value zone. Now we're returning to the mean. The stock market's mean reversion means it goes above the mean, back to the mean, under the mean, back to the mean. So now we're in the value zone. Much better buy it here at 355 than up at 374, right? But it's in the value zone, but I have to wait for another couple things to happen. It's in the value zone. I need to see it go sideways, have some consolidation, have some price discovery, and then look for a V1, V2. Amazon is up today, pretty dang strong, pretty dang good relative strength here. It's a V1, but not a great V1. We came down into the value zone. We went up. We made a lower high. Usually when I make a lower high, I want to wash out this first low. So I don't see anything there, but Amazon's up today, so that's pretty impressive. Boeing, not so great. Not so great. I got out of Boeing yesterday. Took this V2, went up nicely, hit some profit targets, but then came crashing down, and I did get out yesterday, which I'm very grateful for. 39.46 RSI. I'd look for a V1 or a V2. Alibaba took the 520 cross 2 days ago. Went up a little bit. I did hit one profit target yesterday and then came crashing down. I did get out of Alibaba yesterday, and I'm glad I did because it's back down now. Berkshire Hathaway, probably my favorite stock at the moment. We came down, made this low, moved sideways. Now we've broken down to a new low. It's a breakout to the downside. What I would be looking for in the coming days would be a reversal back up. Like tomorrow, we might get, if we have an up day, have a V2 and a false breakout to the downside of here, and also a rejection, close back over the negative third ATR channel. So that would interest me. I really like Berkshire Hathaway. I'm just waiting for a signal. Beyond Meat, down. Need to wait to come back to the value zone. Caterpillar, we're below the value zone. I'd like to see Caterpillar come up into the value zone, have a couple days back down, and then go for a higher low V1 or potentially a deep dip buy down to the 30 RSI, but not quite there. Man, Carnival's getting beat up today. This is a good example of sideways motion, sideways bars, consolidation. This is where I like to buy. Sideways movement moves to big moves, right? That's what I want to do. I want to buy in consolidation in the value zone, sell into the strength. Anyway, nothing here on Carnival, Dow Jones. Look at these two big down days. My gosh. This has taken out, 20 days of price in these last 2 days. Disney, not so hot tamale. I don't see anything there. Etsy is up, of course, because Etsy only goes up. Wow. Holding the 70 RSI, it's amazing. Facebook is down pretty substantially. Right here is where I'd like to buy Facebook. Bounce off that 200-day in the value zone. Will it get there? I don't know. But that's where I'm looking for it. So I'll just sit on my hands and wait. And then if it does do it, then I'll enter the trade. But again, better to buy in value than above value. Gold's up nicely today. Well, silver was up too as well. I don't really see anything here though. Google is down, poked its head back down into the value zone. You know, a bounce off the 200-day moving average in the value zone would be interesting. Like Steve Burns says, financials are just getting brutalized. We had a 520 cross under. If we have another 520 crossover, that's a valid crossover on Goldman Sachs. So, or under 30 over 30. Home Depot down today as well. Like to buy Home Depot. Will pull back down to the 200-day moving average. IBB also down. Needed to come in the value zone more. How am I doing on time? Intel. Yeah. You know, somebody asked me about Intel the other day, last week when we had this V1. And, you know, here we're above the 1 ATR channel. We come into the value zone, just down and then right back up. And I don't like to take these type trades. I like them to come down in the value zone, consolidate, then have a V1, V2. And this is what often happens. You have a straight down move. You come right back with the V1. You might go up 1, 2, or 3 days. This one went up a little bit longer, but then it usually fails. And this is exactly what happened. Russell 2000, I did get out of Russell 2000 yesterday. Thankfully, did have a profitable trade on it. Happy for that. But if I would have held in today, I would not have. Johnson & Johnson. Look, this is what I'm talking about. Above the value zone, into the value zone, sideways movement. This is what I'm looking for. Now all I need is a trigger. A trigger, I was looking for a V1 today. Yesterday's bar, today we washed it out, but this would have to close above yesterday's bar. That's why I have a line here at 147.14. So we'll see where it closes. What's the market doing? All right. CarMax, working its way back into the value zone. It always comes back here, I'm telling you. Coca-Cola, oh boy, not so good. Lockheed Martin, not so good. MasterCard, look, obviously MasterCard's good company. I didn't want to buy it up here too high. Now we're in the value zone. Now if I can just get that baby to go sideways, look for a V1, V2. Again, over the 1 ATR channel, I considered overvalue. I want to see it come back into value, buy it at value, sell it when it gets overvalued. Mickey D's, oof, nasty. Merck, up today, pretty impressive. Has a fake out bar, meaning 2 days ago we had a high. Yesterday we went up and below, giving a V1 to the downside. Today it got above day one's high. That's why it's triggering this little triangle here. But it is up, good relative strength, but we did reject the 50 RSI already, so I wouldn't take that. Microsoft, look, you know, if you wanted to get into Microsoft, much better time to get into the value than up here. I mean, we just went up, 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 up. Now we've returned to the value zone, right? One of the best companies in the world. I just want to see it move sideways, look for a V1 or a V2 before I have an entry. Now, some people just buy when it gets to the value zone, right? Without a trigger. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, but I would much rather see somebody just buying when it gets back to the value zone than buying up here. Netflix, Bing He had a nice trade on Netflix a while back. I think it was right here. He gotten out, so that seems like a good idea. Nike, oh Lord, look at that. That is nasty. Don't want anything to do with that. Philip Morris down today again. It's a 39.20 RSI. I'm happy to buy Philip Morris if it gets under the 30 RSI. Right here, we have the negative third ATR channel. 92% of prices tend to find support here. If I could get a confluence of the 30 RSI and the third ATR channel, this is where I'd like to get in. This is where most people who are long are going to just bail. Well, I want to be there to buy it from them. PayPal, really strong on a day like today, but too high. Q's back in the value zone, right? This is the NASDAQ 100 back in the value zone. Be very happy to buy this. If the 5 crossed under the 20 and then back over, that would be one approach. Or if we start consolidating sideways movement like we did on Johnson & Johnson, then get a V1 or V2. Silver I have. It's a good trade so far. Did hit one profit target literally at the top. You don't see that very often. But that's moving up nice. SPY did have the overnight loss, but luckily it was not too much, 55 cents or so. I will be buying this again at the end of the day. Lizanne Saunders will be mad at me if I don't. She won't talk to me. You know how she is. Teladoc. Up today. That's good, but I don't see a clear signal there. Bonds up today, bounced off the negative third ATR channel. Like I just mentioned, 92% of prices do tend to bounce there. Not all of them. Tesla, what's going on with the Elon today? Back in the value zone. So, you know, this pullback is unfortunate if you have positions, but if you don't have positions, I like that it's pulling back into the value zone because, you know, I might be able to get into some trades here. Twitter, as I mentioned before, I am getting out of this today. Price did close below both the 5 and the 20. Horrible down day, all sorts of nastiness. I will take a loss on this trade, but not as much of a loss because I did phase out up here. United Continental almost down 10%. My gosh. Not good. Natural gas down at the third ATR channel, negative third ATR channel, but it's not enough for me to just go ahead and buy here. I need some, you know, if it went under 30, over 30, something like that. United Healthcare, ooh, really got beat up today. I don't see anything there. Oil down, big consolidation. See the sideways motion here? Remember what I said, sideways moves lead to big moves. Big moves lead back to sideways moves. Oh, sorry. So I don't see anything there. VIX, very strong. It'll be interesting to see if we close above 50. If we close above 50, that's bad for the bulls. If we close under 50, that might be a little bright spot for the bulls. Verizon broke to the downside. Walgreens broke to the downside. Walmart, bearish kangaroo tail, which means it opened, went way up, and closing near the bottom. This is technically a V1. Earnings are coming up. Anyway, that's not good. The only good thing going forward, it's holding the 50 RSI. Energy, back in the value zone. Good. Just needed to go sideways. Financials, this is going to be ugly. Yep. The sideways movement broke. Now we have trend movement. Real estate, again, sideways movement leads to expansion, either to the upside or the downside. Utilities, sideways movement. I would imagine this would move to some kind of move, either up or down. Healthcare, not doing so great. And Zoom. Zoom's doing pretty well today, aren't they? So the only thing I'm really looking at today is Johnson & Johnson. And I will buy it if it closes above 147.14. So I will have to look for that. Otherwise, if it doesn't, then it will be one of those days that I don't take any trades like I was talking about earlier. Oh, except for the overnight SPY trade. But, oh, Apple had a big comeback here. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. Woo, yeah, it did. I mean, it's still down a lot, but. All right, so how are we doing here? Pretty good, pretty good. Chewy's doing really nice. So Chewy's doing good. Silver's doing well. SPY, I'm buying at the end of the day. We're off the lows. Twitter, glad that's off the lows before I sell it. And Apple, I had that not overnight. I had the intraday trade, 2 of them. 1 loser, 1 winner. Okay. So the only thing I'm going to be watching here is Johnson & Johnson. All right, so any changes for anyone else today? Any new entries for anyone that you've taken that you'd like me to get on the board, or any new exits from any of the trades that of yours that just we went over? Just let me know. Kamal says Twitter is giving the exit signal. Yes, it is. At least it's off its lows, though. So that's good. J&J, ooh, could get there. Could get there. And again, what I like about Johnson & Johnson, we had a nice up move. We had a normal, nothing to be concerned about, pullback, sideways motion, price discovery, consolidation, coiling, whatever you want to call it. We had a breakout to the downside that has reversed. If it does close above yesterday's close, which is 147.14, I will buy it. Right now it's 147.10. If I do buy it, then my stop will be a close below halfway of the washout bar. So essentially any close below my entry. Ooh, Apple's had a nice rally here. You know, you can see on the 39-minute chart here, bullish engulfing bar, rejection of the third ATR channel, sideways movement. See the sideways movement, and technically a V1, not a great one, but all in all, the bullish engulfing bar, the V1, the rejection of the third ATR channel. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right, Johnson & Johnson is there at the moment. So let me get this all worked up here. How many shares am I buying? All right. And by the way, when it comes to how many shares I'm buying here, what I like to do is, you know, I take my maximum loss on any one individual trade. Let's just say I have $100,000. Let's say I'm risking 1%. So I take $1,000, which is my maximum loss. I would divide it by the value of the 2 ATR divided by 5.86. And that will tell me exactly how many shares to buy, 170.6, right? It works with any number. If we closed below today's entry, essentially, because that's halfway of the washout bar, that would be my end of day stop. But if I did buy this, I would have my stop, my emergency stop would be $5.86 below. So if it got down there, even intraday, I'd have to get out. But you know how much I'd lose? I'd lose $1,000. And the nice thing is it adjusts for volatility as well. It's probably having you buy more shares now because the movement was sidewards. Back when we had big down bars, the volatility expands, so I would buy fewer shares. So that's what I like so much about this. So 147.14. All right, that's what I'm keying off of. We have 5 minutes left. Kamal says Twitter needs to close below 27.92 for the exit signal. I am personally, Kamal, getting out of this because it's closing below both the 5 and the 20. And those are the... Oh, no, no, no. Thank you for keeping me straight on that. For some reason, you're right. I bought this with the V2 here, halfway the washout bar, 27. You're right. 27.91, 27.92. Yes, you're right. Okay. It did hold the halfway. For some reason, I don't know why I thought it was a 520. I should verify that, shouldn't I? Thank you. Thank you, Kamal. Yeah, otherwise I will hold it if it closes over this halfway. And it did go under and close back over. Good thing I got Kamal as my wingman over there. All right, looks like Johnson & Johnson is not going to do its thing. Let's take a look back over at VIX, closing over 50. Walmart, nope. Chewy. Thank you, Miko25, for the Chewy chart, because this is beautiful. Again, sideways motion, stab to the downside, reversal trigger with the V2. And fantastic, fantastic. All right. So we got 3 minutes to see what J&J is going to do. Oh, it's getting there. It is getting there. Got about a minute and a half. It is there. It is there. $147.14. One minute. Wow, Chewy's just taken off. Looks like Twitter's going to be okay as a hold. Oh, gonna be close here. Now J&J's giving it back. Now it's under. Now it's over. I'm just gonna have to do my best here at the end and see if I get it right or not. All right, I'm pulling the button. Okay. All right, so I did buy the SPY at 281.60. And I bought Johnson & Johnson at 147.20. All right. So Chewy, really nice. Silver, really good. Spy. All right, doesn't want to cooperate. 281.60. For the next one. There we go. Twitter I held because it held the halfway of the washout bar, and J&J at 147.20. Okay, there we go. Now, we are right at about halfway of the washout bar. It did trigger. So essentially tomorrow, if it closes below my entry, that's going to be it. That's how I'm going to manage this to the downside. All right. So listen, pretty close to a break-even day today, which is pretty good on a day like today. So I am definitely grateful for that. So listen, if anyone in the group has any questions, you want me to look at any charts, please let me know. Before I do, I'm just going to quickly put in my little daily plug, let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I've traded for 24 years. I've studied with 4 excellent teachers and mentors and authors: Stephen Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Larry Williams, and Carrie Lavorne. Can't thank these 4 gentlemen enough for what they've taught me over all these years, and that is what I teach in my course. I teach everything I've learned from 24 years of experience and everything I've learned from them. So my course is 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours, so it's a total of 15 hours, and it's one-on-one. I think it's really the very best way to learn is with one-on-one coaching and teaching, because you can ask questions right when you have them. And, in this course, I ask you a lot of questions. I have you break down the charts. What's going on here? What's the best trade? What's our next trade? Is it a good risk to reward ratio? Tell me the positives. Tell me the negatives. So that's what I do in the course. So I've had really good success with my clients. I taught last night, and my student was like, man, I just wish I knew this years ago. And it's true, right? But we all have to learn it someplace. So if you're interested in possibly thinking about taking the course with me, what I like to do with a prospective student is I like to have a Skype call with them just to learn a little bit more about them. They can ask me questions about the course. It's totally free. I promise you there's no pressure. I don't like pressure. And it's not a sales call. I promise you it's not a sales call. It's just to see if we're a good fit. All right. So if you're interested, reach out to me. Emails in the description. You can also send me a message on Twitter, and then we'll set a time and we'll do the Skype call. And then also, if you like today's podcast, if you find it helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It does help build the channel and shows Google that there's value in the channel, so they'll help promote it more. So if you could, before you get out of here, just take a half a second if you enjoy the content and hit the thumbs up button. So okay, there's my plug for today. Okay, Kamal got in J&J. All right, let's get Kamal up there. All right. Still holding Twitter, AGQ, and Chewy. Perfect. Hey, GM, how you doing today? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Appreciate you being here. Andrew says, sorry, I got a phone call. What was the trigger for J&J? It was the V2. Here's day 1, day 2, washed out day 1, closed above day 1's close. That's the trigger, but the context of the chart is that we were above the 1 ATR, or way above, came back down into the value zone in between the green lines, moved sideways, went down, reversed back up. That's the trigger. Bing He says, Greg, I came across the term short interest and short ratio. What is the difference? Anyway, we can make use of this. How can we make use of this? I'm a bit confused here. Well, short interest shows what percentage of the float is actually short. And people that, like Dr. Alexander Elder, when he looks for double bottoms with bullish divergences, he likes to look at the short interest because he's more likely to take the trade if there's a high percentage of shorts, because if you're short, you have to buy, eventually you have to buy back. So he feels like it's a whole nother group of buyers. Short interest and short ratio, I'm not sure the difference. They kind of sound the same to me though. Anders says, Kamal, okay, thanks. Looks like it only closed a micro hair above yesterday's. Yep, it did. Well, yesterday's close was 147.14, but it did close. It closed at 147.21. Oh, Karen's also in J&J. All right. All right, Karen, good. Good luck to all of us, right?